way out of that number 28 spot. Oh, spit butter. Oh, wow. Hill trying to get that car down the track. Cabral, 740, 184, 946, 166. Don't think that will help Hill. No, it won't. Keep them both 21 and 28. The only thing that car didn't do for Hill was shoot out popcorn out the side of the car. He did everything but that. Next up is the TSR Racing Products 70 Duster of Craig Monroe. He will take on Alex Thompson, the 63 split window Corvette with the Musi power. Thompson currently in the number 17 spot. Monroe, best he could do is a 753, which puts him in the number 25 spot. As I said, you want to look. I mean, the 6 second club is Frank Volpe at a 698. He's in the number 9 spot. Everyone else, starting with Doug Booser, is in the 7 second club, except for Don Lucier. So here we go, Thompson, Monroe. And I need my 3 designated pairs in stock to the lanes, please. 3 designated pairs in stock to the lanes, please. Let's see what Thompson can do. 703, 178 for Thompson. Monroe, a 757. Monroe will stay right where he is. That'll move Thompson up into the front page here. Number 11 with that 703. Not quite on the 6 second club, but just a couple spots away from there. So that'll give him a little bit better spot designation with that number 11 qualifying spot. All right, I need all my stock eliminators to the lanes, please. Stock to the staging lanes, please. Stock eliminator. Bring them on down. We need stock eliminator to the staging lanes, please. Bill Genki coming up right now, the plumber out of Newburgh, New York. Got the 2013 Camaro. Gonna take on Chuck Jesolo. Jesolo, the 95 Beretta out of Fremont, New Hampshire. Also sporting Chevrolet power, 584 cubic inches. Genki currently in the number 15 spot. Jesolo in the number 22 spot as we go into this final round of qualifying. Jesolo jumped right off the line there, got a little squirrely, straightens it back out. He'll slow down to a 792, 711 with a 5 for Genki. They will stay in that 15 and 22 spot. Genki back-to-back 711s. Josh Eastburn coming up right now, the 2012 Camaro out of Delaware. Currently the number 6 qualified spot. He's in that 6 second club, 694.7 at 204. We'll take on Brian Connery, his split window 63 Corvette out of Levittown, PA. Connery on the outside looking in of that 6 second club, currently qualified number 12. at a 7:03.7. Sporting the Pike Creek's mortgage service, Eastburn is there out of Delaware. 622 cubic inches of Chevrolet power. Connery, 706 under the hood of that Corvette. Connery, 004, runs a 709. He will not improve. 696.2 for Eastburn. Will not improve him. He'll stay with his 694. Connery with his 703, number 6 and number 12. Carl Giuliano will come up right now. Giuliano, 2012 Camaro out of New York. He'll take on the split window Corvette out of Maine of David Crafts. Crafts Cars. 929 cubic inches of Chevrolet power under the hood of Crafts car. Giuliano saying, okay, well, you got 929, I only have 781. But Giuliano currently sits in the number 7 spot. He's in the 6-second club, 696, 197. Crafts at the number 17 spot with his 716 at 190. All right, crew member will start moving Crafts up to where he needs to be for the pre-stage. The crew for Giuliano will follow him up. Click on the button for the computer that is sitting right at the rear fender. Both saying, okay, let's do it. Both go into the pre-stage. Fully staged, tree comes down. Giuliano goes, Crafts goes, oh, wait. Oh, they don't go. Let's see what they can do here. 7 flat for Giuliano, 722 for Crafts. Both will not improve. Giuliano stays number 7 with that 696. Crafts will stay number 17 with the 716. Next up, Arnold Agar coming up right now. Gorgeous looking 57 Bel Air. The Agar Performance Racing engines taking on Booser Orchard Racing. Doug Booser out of Connecticut. The O2 Camaro. Chevrolet powered. Booser Orchards out there in the center part of Connecticut. Just a little bit southwest of the Hartford area. Taking on Agar out of Canaan, Connecticut. He's just a little bit further south. Down there off of Route 9. The AC Performance Engines Bel Air. Booser, number 10. Just about 2 thou from getting into the 6-second club. Knowing the conditions out there. Agar, number 5 qualified right now. He's in the 6-second club, 691.6. Booser 019. Let's see what he can get. Can he get into the 6-second club? Yes, he does. 698.8. Agar steps it up too. 674. That moves Agar into the number 2 spot with that 674. Booser moves. Well, he would have moved into the. Well, he is at the top 10 with a 698.8. He stays number 10 because actually Agar moved up, pushed him down. So Agar and the 57 Bel Air goes into the number 2 spot, 674. And he just missed out on the top speed. Emirati with a 210.70, Agar at 210.05. Here we go. Cliff Agar comes up right now. The other half of the AC Performance Engines team, the 04 Grand Am out of Canaan, Connecticut. He's going to take on Ron Regal. Regal out of Fairless Hills, Pennsylvania, just outside the Philadelphia area. The Regal Racing Engines 68 Camaro. Regal, number 8 spot, 696. He's in the 6-second club. Agar in the number 19 spot at a 726. Stalkers, I need you to the lanes, please. I need all my stalkers to the lanes for first round eliminations. Stock eliminator to the staging lanes for your first round eliminations. Regal with the 017 reaction time, 7 flat with a 2:198, 7:28, 191 for Agar. Regal will stay 8. Agar to the number 19 spot. He'll stay in that 19 spot. Don Priest coming up right now, the 94 Beretta out of Connecticut. Self-employed bus owner. He's going to take on Fast Freddie Perkins here, the JNE Construction Solutions 57 Bel Air. All right. He doesn't own any buses. He's just a self-employed business owner. Perkins currently in the number 5 spot, 689 at 198. As in front of him is Emirati, Agar, Proctor, and Dave Miller. Priest currently in the number 14 spot at a 710. Looks like Priest will kick it off, shut it off there just about the 8th mile. 6:90, 198 for Perkins. He'll stay in the number 5 spot. Priest will stay in that number 14 spot. He'll stand on that 710 with a 6. Taking on Matt Harper here. Harper, the 90 Grand Prix out of Maine. Taking on Volpe and his 2018 Mustang. All right, looks like we report we got some debris over in the left-hand lane. I'm going to shut things down here, take a quick look at that, make sure everything is all set. All right, they tell us that all the debris is just past the finish line, so we're going to send the crew out there to get that taken care of.
MicroStrategies has been transforming business through innovation for nearly 35 years. Our core focus is to help our customers manage, mine, and monetize their data and informational assets. Whether it is in enterprise content management, big data and analytics, IoT, cloud, or security solution, we have the skill and the experience to help our customers disrupt their markets and lead in their industries. MicroStrategies has been transforming business through innovation for nearly 35 years. Our core focus is to help our customers manage, mine, and monetize their data and informational assets. Whether it is in enterprise content management, big data and analytics, IoT, cloud, or security solution, we have the skill and the experience to help our customers disrupt their markets and lead in their industries.
It's time for a new mattress. And who are your mattress go-to guys? PC Richard & Son, that's who. Our mattress experts will help you find the mattress of your dreams. All the best brands at the guaranteed lowest prices. When you want it, need it, just gotta have it, we'll get it there the next day. So sleep better with the right mattress from the right mattress company. Oh yeah, it's time for a new mattress. Get to PC Richard & Son, the company you can trust since 1909.
Jack Barbecue. And just want to remind everyone to protect yourself from others from the COVID-19 by wearing a mask or cloth face covering so you don't spread germs. When you talk, sneeze, or cough, wear a face covering if you're not going to be anywhere near people, and especially if you're not going to be within the 6 feet of other people. Face coverings are required when talking with track officials. Race control is closed. If you need to speak to race officials, please call or text Dave Moan. You all know his number, or let the officials in staging know of your question or concern. Make sure you wash your hands, and please maintain all social distancing today. All right, the word has come. All clear at the top end, so we'll get Harper and Volpe fired back up. Okay, they'll fire up the engines there in the Mustang of Volpe and the Grand Prix of Harper. There we go, Volpe out of New York with the Mustang. As I say, currently in the number 9 spot. He's in the 6-second club, 698.7. Harper out of Maine with the Grand Prix, 757. He'll sit in that number 26 spot. The one thing I find with Matt Harper, actually the last time I saw this car, it was sitting in pieces. One of those guys that's very good on the tree. Let's see what he can do here. Because once we get to eliminations, the dial-ins go on the car. Well, there's the announcer's curse. Harper 009 red, Volpe 011 red. 701, 196 for Volpe, 755, 180. That'll keep Volpe number 9, Harper number 26. Next up, Rich LaChapelle and his 94 Beretta. Going to take on Mike Sullivan, the Hitman, out of PBD Mass. The engine builder out of the Malden machine. Currently number 13 spot at a 704, LaChapelle. 64-year-old, no profession listed. In the number 23 spot at that 749. Fully stage here. Here come down. LaChapelle 0-10 on the tree. We'll see what you can do about moving up on that 749. 751, 707 for Sullivan. Sullivan will stay number 13. LaChapelle number 23. So top 5 still continues to be John Amoretti, Arnold Agar, Ron Proctor, Dave Miller, and Fred Perkins. Next up, it will be the 57 Bel Air of Larry Willard. The Willard Auto Services and Sales sponsored 57 Bel Air. Going to take on the T&T Motorsports. The logo 69 Camaro of Nick Maloney. Willard 006, Maloney 016. Let's see what we can do on the time. 7:16. Maloney will stay 16. 7:40. Willard will stay in the number 20 spot. Next pair to the line. Wayne Horton to take on Dan Christopher. Horton, the Island Racing Services 63 split window Corvette to take on Christopher, the 09 Cobalt, sponsored by Southern New Hampshire Undercar. Actually, Dan is the owner of Southern New Hampshire Undercar. Currently number 18 spot, 723. Horton holding down the number 24 spot at a 753. Oh, Horton 004. We'll see who'll get there first. It will be a 725 for Christopher. He'll stay number 18. 755 for Horton. He'll stay in the number 24 spot. Looks like we'll have three singles here to finish off the Tommy Tape Top Sportsman. It'll be Ben Schlafman, the Grand Am out of Massachusetts. GM powered, currently in the number 27 spot with a 794. We'll take care of these three singles, do a little bit of touch up on the starting line, and then it's time for the eliminations. Schaffman, 798, 170. He'll stay in that number 27 spot. Next up, it'll be Dave Miller. Miller currently in the number 4 qualified spot with the 2000 S10 out of Connecticut. He's a self-employed business owner. Miller Motorsports, big old Chevrolet under the hood of that S10. As I said, currently number 4 spot at a 684.9. Let's see if Miller can improve on that 684.9. No, the weather out there is not conducive. 688, 199. So he'll stay number 4 on that 684. Next up, the number 3 qualifier. Currently, Ronnie Proctor. Harper's Ferry, West Virginia for the Proctor Enterprise 2009 Cobra. Ford power plant, 706 cubic inches of Ford power for Proctor. Qualified currently 676 at 205, number 3. Been seeing at least a couple hundred drop. The weather out there is just a lot warmer than it was here yesterday. We got Karen Proctor out there. She got the phone. She's Making sure the camera is all set there. She'll hit the old button on the back there for the computer. There we go. Click, and we will have some numbers. .013 on the reaction time. Single run here. Let's see what he can do. Look at that. 660 with a 2. Everybody, look at that. Picked it up by a 1/10.5. And it moves Proctor to the top with a 660 with a 2. He takes out Amoretti. So it'll be Proctor number 1, John Amoretti number 2, Arnold Agar number 3, Miller number 4, and Fast Freddie Perkins, your top 5 in the Tommy Tape Top Sportsman. All right, we're going to do a little starting line prep, and then it's going to be time for eliminations.
Well, as we get set to go into eliminations here, I want to welcome everybody to New England Dragway. It is so good to be back at the racetrack. It is so good for all of us to be out of our houses, and it's great to be starting to get back to the things we enjoy. From this point on, throughout the rest of the day, we are going to be in eliminations in all categories. And before we get into eliminations, we would like to take a couple of moments for an invocation, for remembrance, and for a couple of national anthems to take care of the first part of the business. Craig Ritchell of Racers for Christ, sir, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Alan. Before we pray, we're going to just take a moment of silence, about a minute of silence for those racers, family and friends that we've lost over the last year. So if you remove your hats and let's just take a moment of silence and think about them, and then we'll go to prayer. Thank you. Let's pray. And dear God, thank you for the privilege of being here this weekend with this great racing community, and for the sacrifice of our servicemen and women who keep us free to do this. Thanks also for our NHRA staff and those that staff and manage New England Dragway, as well as the Lucas Oil and sponsors that are so vital to this sport. We ask your blessing and your protection on our safety teams and our first responders that so passionately care for us in our time of need. And finally, we pray for the leaders of our great nation, and we ask for your protection today as we race and reunite with our racing family in this great place. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Thank you very much, Craig. For those of you who are not yet standing, would you please do so? We normally play a couple of national anthems when we're here at New England, and we're going to do that again this year. I want to let all of our neighbors to the north. I know there's a lot of the Canadian racers and Canadian race fans that were unable to come down and take part this weekend because of the border closures, because of the things that are going on in our world right now. And I just want to let all of the northern neighbors know that we certainly miss you. We miss having the fans in the stands. We miss having the cars on the racetrack. And even though you can't be here with us, we want to play your anthem as we kick off this event. We truly look forward to the day, hopefully in the near future, when our entire racing family can be together again. And before we fire the first pair of stock eliminator, which is going to kick off with a heads-up matchup, ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets went clear, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
And ladies and gentlemen, how about for the next few hours, we just tune out all of the other issues in the world and let's enjoy some NHRA drag racing. Kicking things off with a heads-up matchup in stock eliminator. A couple of E-stock automatic machines. Anytime two cars, same category matchup in eliminations, it is flat out. First to the finish line, no breakout, turn to light green and come and get your some. Len Abramson in the left side, 1969 Barracuda, the A-body with the small block. And Ken Robinson, that's an SS 396-67 Camaro, but that's the Quadrajet model, not the Holly model. The 325 horse 396 falls into E stock automatic. The 340 Valiant falls into E automatic. All you need is a green light and a fender out in front. Both drivers get away on the green. Len gets a little bit of a jump on the reaction timer. But Ken had a performance advantage in qualifying, and it looks like the Chevy is going to carry the day. 1099 at 120 miles an hour for the win, 1171 at 112 miles an hour. Abramson was just barely running the dial all weekend long, and it bit him here in round number one as Ken Robinson becomes the first car to advance into the next round. Brings up Brian Valentine. That is a 305 powered Camaro over in the left side. And Grace Faraka. Grace has been like the first car up in every qualifying session, and she's darn near the first car up here in round number one. A 1968 Classic GTO, 400 inches of Pontiac, dialed in at 1185. Valentine is dialed in at 1180. It is usually a bad sign when the car that leaves second is out in front at 300 feet. That is if you're the car that leaves first. Yep, down to the stripe, you can kind of see that coming. 12:18 at 85 miles an hour. 13:54. Grace had some problems, and then Grace's problems got even worse down in the shutdown area. Her car qualified at 12:60 and then just ran 13:54, so it obviously was not happy on the racetrack. And then it went from unhappy to miserable down there in the shutdown area. As you can see, just clouds of smoke. It kicked off past the finish line. You can see the car make the turn down at the top end of the racetrack as the smoke begins to clear. And word from the top end, we've struck oil. If you're in the middle of a field in Oklahoma, that's probably good. If you're on the drag strip in New England, that's probably not good. So for Grace, adds a little injury down there to that Pontiac power plant. I said it looks like it all started past the finish line, but we're going to have a couple of minutes of cleanup down there before we can continue on here with round one of Stock Eliminator. We will be keeping an eye out for the champ, Allison Dahl, who will be up here in just a little bit because she's got a price on her head. Allison, who tore through the division last year, her claim for the national championship included a perfect 5 for 5 on the division trail. And since she was the one that won the last race, she's the one that have a price on her head coming up here in round number one. If she survives round one, it'll carry on. If she wins the race, it'll carry over. But if you want to pick up the bounty in Stock Eliminator, you're going to have to beat the champ. Well, we're going to let the top end safety crew take care of their cleanup duties. I'm going to grab myself a bottle of water and take a little break here. I mean, after all, I've been working for 2.5 minutes, so I might want to nap. You probably got a quick enough time if you want to dash back to the smoke shack and pick up some barbecue. And then rejoin us as we will jump right back in to Stock Eliminator round number one. Hey, from the what else is going on in the world file, just because we don't see enough of this, on my home page on the computer this morning, as I'm scrolling down, one of the lead stories is a link to the real life story of the legendary Jungle Pam Hardy, who of course was from this part of the world. An absolute living legend who is still out there kicking and still out there enjoying life and has got some of the greatest stories you'll ever want to hear. From the early days of traipsing around the country and funny car barnstorming with Jungle Jim and the group. I just think it's cool that that got picked up mainstream. Hey, don't forget, 2 weeks from now, and it's not that far away. It's only, I mean, what, a couple 100 miles, right? Lebanon Valley? It's not that far away. If you want to come down and join us, we'll be at Lebanon Valley Dragway in 2 weeks for the next stop on the Division I Regional Tour. And that is a fun little racetrack. It's going to be 4th of July weekend down there. I don't know for sure, but if I was betting, I would be betting that they're going to have some type of event on the circle track on Saturday night that is part of the property down there, and probably a little fireworks show as well. It's only a couple of 100 miles away if you want to come join us 2 weeks from now, Lebanon Valley, for the next stop of the Division I Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series.
Yeah, sure did.
Okay, and from the, because you can't make this stuff up file, I'm just going to give you the headline. You can figure out the rest of it for yourself. Florida man on drugs kills imaginary friend and then turns himself in. I wonder what they would charge him with, besides the drug thing. I wonder if there would be a witness against him. His pet rock? I like that. His pet rock saw the whole thing. You got to be really having a bad day to get so stoned that you kill your imaginary friend. Yeah. Hey, it's not my fault. I mean, if we didn't have oil on a racetrack, we'd be talking about race cars. Just saying. The good news is it's all down in the shutdown area, so that makes the cleanup go a little bit quicker. And our crack staff between the Division I safety team and the New England Dragway staff are on it. We'll be back to Stock Eliminator here momentarily. Hey, I also want to extend the offer. Anybody, whether you're here or whether you're watching along on D1TV, thank you again, Anthony Bongiovanni and the group at MicroStrategies for making that all happen for us. If you have a question, a comment, something that you want to share with me or with the racetrack or with Dave, feel free to send me an email. If you send it to announcer@NHRA.com, I will find an answer if I have it, or I will forward it to whoever needs to see it. I do want to say thanks to Kim the lawyer, who sent me a note yesterday and mentioned the fact that they are flying the Canadian flag, as is tradition here. As I said earlier, we really miss having all the Canadian racers down here and Canadian fans to be a part of this event. We're thinking about you and want you to know that you're not forgotten and you were definitely missed. And we certainly look forward to when you can join us again. Hey, I want to say a happy 50th anniversary to Howie and Roberta Smith. 50 years. Holy smokes. Congratulations. That is awesome. I wonder how long they've been social distancing. I'm kidding. 50 years. That's awesome. Congratulations to the Smiths. I still contend that my idea of a long-term relationship is somebody that doesn't have a restraining order by the end of next week, but 50 years. That's a milestone. Well, what at one time looked like a convention on the top end of the racetrack now looks like a small meeting. When it looks like an abandoned road, it'll be time to race again.
That's right. That's good to have. That's what I assumed. Yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah. Bridgeport. Yeah. Hear ye, hear ye. Yeah. I heard Monday restaurant. Wicked tuna. Better off, right? Andy Griffin. I watched Gabriel. Yeah, Hogan's Heroes. Gabriel Iglesias, he's a comedian. He does a comedian in a food show. Oh, yeah? He's funny as hell. But they go and they eat, they bombard some places. These are big boys, right? And then, of course, they got to go exercise.
And as I look down at the end of the racetrack and don't see anybody in the way, drivers are jumping back in. We're ready to go here momentarily. All right, let's see if we can build a little momentum. Come on. I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's see, we had a heads up to kick things off. We have 3 more heads up matchups here in round number 1, which of course is good news if you got the really fast car. It's bad news if you don't have the really fast car. Sometimes it's interesting to watch the guys that are being sneaky, everybody that shuts off early in eliminations. You end up doing that and get a heads-up run, and then it's like, oh, man, who thought this was a good idea? Hey, just a quick heads up. Super Street, you will run after alcohol round number 1. Super Street, your round 1 will be after round 1 of alcohol. Want to say hi to Rich McPhillips out there on the racetrack. He used to be pretty good when he was driving all those years ago. Way back when. Then he got run out of town by the kids. Good to see you. And we fire them up. This is going to be a fun little matchup. It's an FSB against an FSA. Now, you would think an FSA and an FSB would be close, right? But it's all about where the slash is. And I got to tell you, no offense to Bob Letellier, because that's a really cool car. But I think if I had first pair of this pick, I like Gary Walters' machine. 1967 black Super Sport Nova. 327 car. If you get bored sometime, go on eBay and just try to find those original super stock insignias like are on the back quarter. Original. I mean, the repops, who cares? Letellier's got a 427 LS New Gen Copo. The Central Order Production Office used to have a secret phone number for that. Now you just go online. That's kind of sucked some of the, cool kids club out of it. Two black Chevrolets getting after it. The early model 327. Trying to hold on. Not holding on. 994 for the win. 135 miles an hour for Letellier. Gary Walters had a reaction time that started with a 1. As a general rule, if the first digit in your reaction time is a 1, the first letter on your time ticket is going to be an L. Because here's the deal for Gary. He got there first by 2 hun. He broke out by 4 hun. Had no room. 0 could not win the race. That is Tim Gray driving one of his dad's cars, the 1972 Nova. He had a solo here in round number 1. So he'll take another free time run, go 11:08 at 117 miles an hour. That'll bring up Katie Stepanek, who also has got a free ride. Jim Farrell was supposed to be the opponent. But I am scanning the horizon, and I don't see Jim Farrell. And just in case we've got anybody that might be here for the first time, if you're wondering, why didn't we just put those two together and let them race? Well, these cars are on a ladder. You qualify, you earn your spot on a ladder. And if somebody is broken, unable to answer round number one, then you have the classic legal single. You don't just throw the whole ladder away because somebody's car broke coming into the first round. Katie, by the way, 001 on the reaction time. 11:75. She did not put a dial on the board, but she'll be ready for round two. Tom O'Laughlin and Jerry Hatch. This is a fun pair. 1968 Chevelle SS396 vinyl top. That's a sweet car. And Jerry Hatch in the Plymouth with the 340, and that is a fast car. A really, really fast D-automatic. Tom O'Loughlin's SS396 gets a head start. Here comes the Duster. Just like that, 1076 for the win, 121 miles an hour. O'Loughlin goes 11:32 at 116 miles an hour. He is 2 over the dial. Jerry is 4 over the dial, but difference in reaction time went to Hatch, and that goes down as a hole shot. Now, this is Howie Smith. We just wished his folks a happy 50th anniversary. The Smith Racing family is going to have to deal with the Prizer Racing family. 1968 428 Cobra Jet Mustang with a clutch. You get an extra point on the coolometer for having a clutch. First gear, second gear, third gear, high gear. Now, can you track down the little Malibu? Here comes the pony. Yep, just like that. 1070. Wow, wow, wow. 120 miles an hour. Both drivers run under by a mile. Rich was better on the tree, runs 1070 on a 76, 98 on an 05 for Howie Smith. Holy smokes. A 6-hun breakout beats a 7-hun breakout. I mean, I've heard a Holden 1 or 2, but really? Okay, how about this? A 446-pack Super Beat. Cool car alert. SS396 4-speed Chevrolet. Greg Gay is off and running. Here comes Bob Broadbent. That big old, bad old, mean old SS396 at the stripe, and he got him. 1017, 118 miles an hour for Broadbent. Greg goes 1103 at 113. The reaction time was a 5-thou coin flip, and it looked like they were playing the battle of brake pedals down at the other end. At 113 miles an hour, Greg Gay decided to get behind, and that was the wrong choice. Mom said there'd be days like that. Here comes Matt Lisa, driving one of the Kenny Richard mobiles. Here comes Gary Parker, driving the Gary Parker mobile. 77 Chevrolet on right side, 83 Chevrolet on the left side. An I-car, G-car, difference in dial-in, check it out. About a half a bulb with the handicap head start going to Parker. They're in, they're set, and that's red. Red light right side, wind light left side, Matt Lisa gets the automatic W. You hear him shut her off down there, 11:19.99 miles an hour as he made a 1,000-foot time run. 11,885 miles an hour for Parker, who's going to be mumbling to himself all the way back to the trailer, saying things under his breath like shucks, darn, rats, and various other words with about that many letters. Here's Chris Butcher in the left side in his Camaro. Mike Genki in his Camaro. A couple of 305 models. Running at a different weight break. That's why one's an I and one's an H. But look at the difference in dial. Amazing that two 305 Camaros would be dialed this far apart. And that's because Chris Butcher's got a really fast H car, and Mike Genki has got a not really fast I car. But all you got to be is index or better until it comes to this point. Left lane for the win, 11:38 at 114 miles an hour, 12:10 at 109 miles an hour for Gianchi. Both drivers were exceptional on the tree. Butcher was one above the dial for the win. Phil Langford in the left side, the Gold Rush. Greg Barzamani. Now, Greg's like 3 times has come out of the water box, and the car sounded like it was on the 2-step. That's what it sounds like there, too. It better not be on the 2-step when it's time to go, or it will not go like he wants it to go. I guarantee you he's sitting in the car right now going, what can I do? And I guarantee you he's hoping that Phil Langford doesn't know. Now, the Gold Rush driver is going to give up an almost 2 Mississippi head start. But all eyes right now are on the red car because that thing sounds like it is stuck on the 2-step. And if that's the case, it's going to leave like a front-wheel drive 4-cylinder nothing. Like that. About the only thing Greg could hope for at that point was that Phil Langford would jump on the red bulb. And he didn't. Or that he would break out. And he certainly didn't do that. 975 on the 933. But Barzmanian, you could hear him. These cars will all utilize a 2-step on the launch where it'll hold the engine RPM at whatever you set it at. Let's call it 3,500. And then when you release the brake pedal, it releases the 2-step. Well, the problem was the engine was stuck on the 2-step and would not rev up. It's kind of like saying, let me make this real easy to understand. It's kind of like saying this. We're going to race, and you have to put a 2x4 under the gas pedal. And then we're going to race. That's kind of what Greg was dealing with right there, and there was absolutely nothing he could do with it. John Schull on the left side, the 427, 427, the 426, 1964 Fury. Now, what's an inch or two between friends? Billy Harper out of Brimfield. They're in their set. The little Nova is going to be off and running. And the big old Max Wedge Dodge, come and get you some. The mouse motor out in front. The Max Wedge on the chase. Here comes Schull. Closing, and not being able to close the deal. 11:19 on the 11:13 for the win. 116 the speed. Schull, 998 on the 995. Let me tell you, Billy Harper, 023, taking 3 thou. Snugged him up 3 thou at the finish line stripe, and that was the difference in that race. This ought to be fun. Adam Strang with a C-stick. That's a 400 cubic inch 4-speed Pontiac Firebird. And Jack Matias. Jumpin' Jack Flash in the 427 Copo Chevrolet. He's dialed in 939. When Pro Stock started, they didn't run in the 9s. And now Stock Eliminator, well, the factory stock cars run a whole lot faster than that. But it's pretty impressive. A naturally aspirated 427, and it's going to be a winner. For the very simple reason that Adam let the clutch out 4 too early. The red light's on. The Firebird's gone. And the Camaro is going on. 936, 142 miles an hour for Jumpin' Jack. Adam goes 1460 at 82 miles an hour after he saw the red light shove the clutch back in and started beating his head on the steering wheel. How about George Mirza? That's a cool car. 71 340 Duster. And Lauren Kanuick, a 77 Pontiac Grand Prix. How many 77 Pontiac Grand Prix Landau tops you think have been turned into race cars? So far, I can think of one, and I'm looking at it. Lauren rolled in and double bulbed, and George followed her in, but we're going to make this right. Handicap head start's going to go to the right lane, just over 1 second, 107 if you want to get technical. No! 21's the number. Red is the color. Over is the race. 11:36 for the win, 117 miles an hour for George. 12:41 on the 12:39 for Lauren. That wasn't a problem. 021 red. That was the problem. Peter Foster looked like he's had the same problem that a few of the drivers have. They roll through the water and then roll forward about 80 feet. Far enough that the tires dry off. 67 Camaro right lane, 69 left lane. Small block right lane, big block left lane. 1102 right lane, 998 left lane. 104 is the handicap. 2 bulbs and 2 little hundo. And another red light start. The wind light already glowing down there for Scott Gove on the top of the scoreboard. 10 flat, 131 miles an hour. Didn't need any of it. Pete Foster left too soon, and that race was over. 200ths of a second before it was scheduled to start. What's that you say? You like Camaros? Me too. You like generational Camaros? Me too. Mark Callahan in the first gen SS396-69 car. Tim Partash, 4th gen, 97 mile with the 350. One's an E car, one's a D car. They are dialed pretty darn close to heads up, just 0.07 of a second difference between the two. I don't know about you, but I have seen enough red. Mark Callahan red this time on the left side, and he missed it by 0.02 of a second. Tim was 0.11 on the right side of the tree and then 10.94 on the racetrack. He was going to be a handful no matter what. Callahan goes 10.92 at 121.21. Game over. Bounty, 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 bounty. Joe Lisa trying to collect the bounty on Allison Dahl. Team Portatree, the reigning division champ, the reigning world champ, the bad girl with the number 1 on the side of the Firebird. She's dialed in at 10:45, and that means Joe Lisa will go first. And then Allison going to try to run him down with a price on her head. Red light start by 0.05 of a second. Allison Dahl, the automatic win. Joe Lisa jumped too soon. And Allie goes 10:43 at $1.27 for the W. Lisa goes 10.85 at 121, but he was 5 thou wrong. Now that's Mike Farrell's 340 Duster. That's a cool car. That's Eddie Bednaz with an SS396 and a 4-speed Nova. The Holley equipped 375 horse SS396 and a 3rd pedal. Oh, another red light. If you ever want to know what really clashes with your orange car, it's a red light. Trust me on this. 10.46 for Eddie Bednaz, 127 with the clutch. Mike Farrell goes red 13 thou, 013. RED. All right, I've had enough red lights. We need a little power of positive thinking here, okay? Everybody think green. Think of something green. Green grass, green trees. $100 bill. John Gray, left. Rob Vogel, right. The K-Automatic, boo. Dialed in 1179. John Gray dialed in 1004. I just want to see green lights. I don't care what happens there. I just want to see green lights. Let's have green. Think about a leprechaun. Think about a shamrock. Hey, it worked. We should have been doing that all day. Down the track we go. Vogel is out in front. John Gray with the Chevrolet. No, not going to catch him. 1179, 108 miles an hour for the win for Vogel. He runs dead on 4 for the W. John Gray goes 1007 after predicting a 1004. He was better on the tree and just flat couldn't get there. 0.07 of a second. John Gray went down there, dropped the nose, and dropped it too early. Keith Sansone, that's Mighty Mouse. Here I come to save the day. Looks like part of his dial-in was written with invisible shoe polish. Just a little bit light on the window, but he noticed it on the scoreboard. Driver's responsibility. He stopped, pointed out, we got her straightened out, now he's ready to rock. There goes Bob Horgan in the Firebird. And here comes Keith. And here comes Keith. And he can't catch him. Wow, Horgan, how do you get away with an 0.92 reaction time? Battle of brake pedals down there, and at 11.52 is going to get the win at 109 miles an hour. Sansoni was better on the tree, but he was a mile off the number at 11.02 and 119 miles an hour. And Horgan, 0.92 reaction and all, made him pay. Angelo DiTacco in the 97 model Firebird. Barry Parker, and the 70 Camaro. Heads up, be automatic. Watch that SS 396 Camaro fly the front end of this baby off the starting line. Whee! DeTaco was kind of laying back a little in qualifying. He ends himself up with a heads up, and he can't win it. 10:17, 129 for Parker. Angelo DeTaco qualified at 10:47 and just ran 10:26. If he hadn't been laying back in qualifying, he wouldn't have to run that heads up round number one. Now, Angelo was better on the tree, but he didn't have anything for Parker, and Barry Parker gets the nod. Here's Glenn Briglio on the left side with a 350 powered Camaro. Not exactly the performance heyday for the Camaros. Tony Jarvis in a 14 model blown 5-liter Cobra Jet. That is the heyday of performance for the Mustang, and that's why you see such a huge head start. Green lights a pair. Way down there is the Chevrolet. But here comes the pony. Ba-da-dum, 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 bump. No! 1150 for the win, 110 miles an hour for Brigley. I'll call direction funny car to staging lanes.